Now, just a couple of days ago, it was announced the WNBA Players Union had voted to authorize a strike against the NBA owners. I just say NBA owners because every team is owned by an NBA owner except for two. All right? And they're trying to get one of those to an NBA owner, which is the Houston Rockets owner. And they announced that they brave, stunning, and courageously would authorize a strike.
The WNBA Players Association has officially authorized a strike, and the sports world is stunned. Not because labor disputes are rare, but because this one defies logic. In its 27-year existence, the WNBA has never been profitable. Nearly every team is owned by NBA franchises that have absorbed losses for decades just to keep the league alive. And now, at the exact moment the league is finally building real momentum, largely due to the transformative impact of a single star, the union is threatening to walk away from a deal that would raise the maximum salary from $250,000 to almost $2 million. That's an 800% increase. And yet, they're rejecting it.
Thursday morning, because David Sampson, who's a really freaking smart sports business guy, came out and said, the NBA is going to draw the line on revenue sharing. And they will draw the line to the point of shutting the WNBA's doors down. They are not going to give the revenue sharing that the WNBA players want, and the women will compromise. and so I had a theory when I made that video that they did this to publicly save face before they...
David Sampson understands how owners think because he's been one. As the former president of the Miami Marlins, he speaks plainly about labor negotiations, and when he warns that the NBA will draw a hard line on revenue sharing and would rather shut the WNBA down than cross it, that isn't guesswork. That's insight from someone who's sat at those tables and knows how these decisions are made. The players are demanding a 50-50 revenue split, mirroring the NBA model. The owners, meanwhile, are offering major salary increases, but refusing to share revenue from a league that loses money every single year. One side is negotiating within financial reality. The other is standing on principle. And principles don't pay mortgages if the league collapses.
Let's call it 250. So you mean to tell me y'all are not going to sign a deal where you get, let's call it a 7.5 to 8 times raise? You're not signing a deal with a 7 times salary increase. Let's just call it 7 times. Are you absurd? I mean, that's a great way for these players to lose the support of fans. By the way, they're losing the support of fans. Because the biggest complaint all these years is they didn't get paid.
Take a look at the social media backlash. These aren't trolls or casual critics. They're longtime WNBA fans who care about the league and its growth. And right now, they're calling the players clowns and criticizing leadership as embarrassing. Some even point out that players with stakes in other leagues might benefit if the WNBA collapses. This isn't about misogyny or disrespect. It's about frustration from fans who have watched the league struggle for 27 years, only to see it finally gain momentum in 2024, and now witness the players threatening to undo all that progress over a revenue-sharing demand that defies business logic. The current CBA expires on October 20th. The owner's latest offer would raise the salary cap from $1.46 million per team to over $3 million by the end of the deal, boost the maximum individual salary from $249,000 to $1.9 million, and more than double minimum salaries. And yet, the players' union has authorized a strike, demanding a share of revenue that doesn't even exist.
This is not going to end well. The entire leadership made up of players who have ownership stakes in other leagues. And it's beneficial for them to kill the WNBA. When are the rest of the players going to boot them out of their roles? Embarrassing as F. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. How that could be happening. I will stop watching the WNBA cold turkey like how I left my first wife. Don't mess this up. They definitely have the wrong players representing the players. And I don't understand why none of that's... There's things that go on to in this league that would never, ever a million times.
Here's what fans grasp that the Players Association seems to overlook. You can't share losses as if they're profits. The NBA's 50-50 revenue split works because the league generates $11 billion annually and posts massive profits. Players are sharing something substantial. The WNBA, by contrast, brings in roughly $200 million in revenue but loses an estimated $10 to $40 million each year, depending on the source. Since 1997, NBA owners have been covering those losses themselves, when players demand the same revenue-sharing model as a league 40 times larger and genuinely profitable. It isn't bold. It's financially naive. And the timing couldn't be worse. The 2024 season was a breakout year, largely thanks to Caitlin Clark's rookie campaign. The Indiana Fever went from averaging 4,000 fans per game to selling out arenas. National TV ratings for her games tripled, merchandise sales soared, and for the first time ever, the league had real mainstream momentum. Sponsors took notice, and expansion discussions were serious. And at the very moment the WNBA had maximum leverage, the Players Association threatened a work stoppage.
Crazy. Yawn, the small interest I have to watch will be gone if they strike. Would anyone notice? A lot of people, they are getting clowned. They are actually getting clowned. They have a professional women's basketball league. When did that begin? The fan base is still not invested enough to sustain the league if they strike. No. I mean, it's crazy. The WNBA has never turned a profit for 30 years, meaning the NBA and more so the owner.
The comparison to the 5 feet 8 inches YouTuber isn't just trolling. It points to a real viral moment. When casual fans see a WNBA all-star struggle against an amateur content creator and then watch those same players demand NBA-level pay, the disconnect is glaring. Fair or not, that perception shapes the narrative around the league. Authorizing a strike only deepens that divide, reinforcing the stereotype that WNBA players are entitled rather than earning their way to financial stability. The Players Association, led by Nneka Agwa Mike, has been outspoken on compensation equality. But equal in what sense? NBA players generate $45 in revenue per viewer, fill 20,000-seat arenas at premium ticket prices over 82 games, and benefit from a highly profitable model. WNBA players generate roughly $3 per viewer, play in smaller venues at lower prices, and compete in a 40-game season. The economic realities couldn't be more different. Demanding the same revenue-sharing structures disregards those fundamentals entirely.
Look, it's kind of weird. We all just got a trial run on what it was like to not be able to see Caitlin Clark on the court. It sucked. It sucked, but these players haven't done enough as of yet. They haven't. I mean, it's crazy. They just saved the owner's money. Go ahead and strike and do a clean out. Play with your rookie contracts and ask anyone overseas if they want to play and anyone else who wants to play. Just clean house. You know.
And here's the real nuclear option, yet no one is discussing it. Replacement players. Rookies are under contract and cannot strike. That means Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Cameron Brink when she returns from her ACL tear, and all other rookie-level players would still be on the court. Meanwhile, owners could bring in international talent from European leagues, eager to play in the US for six-figure salaries. The EuroLeague women is full of skilled players earning $30,000 to $60,000 per season abroad. Would they honor a WNBA strike? They'd be boarding planes within 48 hours. The Players Association may be assuming that NBA owners won't let the league collapse due to optics or political pressure, but that's a risky gamble. These are business people who have built billion-dollar franchises through tough financial decisions. They've endured lockouts, relocated teams, fired coaches, and traded superstars, all in pursuit of the bottom line. The notion that they would yield to pressure and share revenue from a consistently money-losing operation just because it feels right, that's not how business works.
Yikes. Man, so tired of the women fatigue. It's crazy. It is crazy. This is an opportunity for the owners and stakeholders of the WNBA to reboot the league. You will get tons of international fans. Will anyone actually notice or care? Seriously, if the league folds, would anybody really miss it? And I can tell you, as soon as I drop one of these videos, I get a ton of these comments.
Take a look at the comment about women's fatigue. It's not coming from someone who dislikes women's sports. It's coming from someone exhausted by the constant narrative that everything is unfair, discriminatory, or someone else's fault. The WNBA has been given every possible advantage. NBA owners have absorbed losses for decades, shared arenas and practice facilities, cross-promotions during NBA broadcasts, and priority scheduling to avoid competition with men's sports. And yet, the league is still not profitable at some point. The discussion has to shift from what the league thinks it deserves to what it has actually earned. The players point to rising attendance and viewership as evidence for higher pay. That's fair, but one strong season after 26 years of losses doesn't erase the debt, nor does it magically make the business model viable. It simply shows the league is moving in the right direction. And perhaps the smartest move is to accept the massive raise on the table, prove the growth can be sustained, and negotiate from a position of real strength in the next CBA cycle.
I mean, they're playing with fire. All right? They're playing with fire. A lot of people was supporting them for the most part on getting the salary. It's the revenue sharing where people are like...
The draconian comment is especially revealing. The Players Association described the league's current structure as draconian. That's the word they chose. Draconian, to describe a league that has survived 27 years thanks to subsidies, where owners have absorbed tens of millions in losses annually and players receive full benefits. Charter flights have been approved, salaries have steadily increased, all without a clear path to profitability. Draconian? That word shows just how disconnected the union leadership is from financial reality. Here's what draconian really looks like. The league collapses, jobs vanish, and professional women's basketball in America disappears for another decade, like after the ABL folded in 1998. That's draconian. Being offered an 800% raise while playing in a money-losing league? That's like winning the lottery and complaining the check isn't big enough. David Sampson predicted the women will compromise, and he's probably right. This strike authorization is likely just a negotiating tactic, a way to save face publicly before agreeing to something very close to the owner's current offer. The Players Association knows it has no real leverage. They understand the public backlash has been fierce. They know that threatening a strike just as the league is gaining momentum is reckless. Yet, they'll authorize it anyway, make a show of solidarity and fighting for their worth, and ultimately sign a deal that delivers huge salary increases without securing the revenue share they've been demanding. But the damage is already done. Fan support has eroded at the worst possible moment. Those earlier social media comments aren't outliers. They reflect the prevailing sentiment. Fans who were excited about the WNBA's growth now say they wouldn't care if the league disappeared. People planning to buy tickets next season are hesitating. Corporate sponsors, previously interested, are likely reconsidering their association with a league whose players appear intent on self-sabotage. And for what? To make a point about equality in a fight that ignores economic reality. The players had everything in their favor: record viewership, mainstream attention, owners ready to dramatically increase compensation, expansion plans, and new media deals in the works. All they had to do was accept the win, keep building momentum, and position themselves for an even stronger deal in 5 years, when the league might finally be truly profitable. Instead, the Players Association has chosen this moment to draw a hard line over revenue sharing in a league that loses money. They've chosen to threaten a strike just as casual fans are finally tuning in. They've chosen to risk everything built over the past year for a demand that has virtually no chance of being met. The math simply doesn't add up. Consider Caitlin Clark's position. She just completed the best rookie season in WNBA history, single-handedly changing the league's trajectory. She brought in millions of new viewers, filled arenas, and made the Indiana Fever relevant for the first time in years. And now she's watching the Players Association, of which she is required to be a part, threaten a strike over a deal that would pay her nearly $2 million per season.
How must she feel about that?
How about Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, or any of the other rookies experiencing WNBA success for the first time? Meanwhile, many of the veterans driving the strike authorization have been in the league for a decade or more. The players have endured the struggles, low pay, poor conditions, and naturally, They want their moment to fight for something better. That's understandable on a human level. But right now, they're fighting the wrong battle at the wrong time. Their frustration with the past is clouding their judgment about a present opportunity, and the owners are fully aware. The owners know the players lack leverage. They know public sentiment is against the union. They know they can wait it out. They'll likely hold firm on revenue sharing, maybe add some perks to make the offer more appealing, and eventually the players will sign, because the alternative is risking the league folding and losing everything. But the damage is done. The goodwill that had been building between the league and its growing fan base has taken a severe hit, with consequences that will last far beyond this CBA negotiation. When fans perceive players as unreasonable or entitled, they disengage. They stop watching, stop buying merchandise, and stop caring. In a league still fighting for survival, losing fan engagement now could be catastrophic. Every WNBA player needs to ask themselves, was this worth it? Was authorizing a strike over revenue sharing in a money-losing league worth damaging fan relationships, risking the league folding, or potentially undoing all the momentum built in 2024? From a fan's perspective, the answer seems clear. Take the 800% raise, prove the league can be profitable, and only then negotiate revenue sharing when there's actual revenue to divide. What happens next? Will the players back down and sign the deal, or are they really willing to strike and risk everything? Share your prediction in the comments. Subscribe for more WNBA coverage, and let's see how this unfolds.